Hi, my name is Darren. Darren Fonso or Darren Fields. And I'm looking for a new mental health provider who can help, manage my meds. So I'm reaching out to the community to see if there's anybody out there who would like to be my mental health therapist. I was with SeaMar Mental Health here in Everett, Washington, for the last 6 years. Part of that was criminally ordered, but for the last 2 or 3 months, I have, at least since from July, I have been attending on my own accord and hope to continue to do so throughout probably the rest of my life, because I will probably need mental health services to endure everything I've had to go through with the work comp hell that I've had to live through, for which I was working with my SeaMar therapist, and we were doing a great job together. And she's been with me for 2 years now, but she's moving. But unfortunately, even though we do Zoom communications, SeaMar is telling me that she can no longer provide services to me, which is frustrating because we've done it on Zoom for the last, year and a half, or 2 years almost. Nonetheless, I'm looking for a new mental health provider. And like I said, the last one was great. She was a great cheerleader. She told me to keep fighting for justice, keep fighting for the truth, keep trying to sing out in song and dance, try to get your issues heard instead of doing it through rage and anger, Darren. Put information videos together and some creative songs together and get your voice heard. Well, that's what me and her were doing, and we were starting to make headway, and I was starting to make some very coherent videos that explain very well the situation that's happening to me and millions of others across this nation, for which our state lawmakers are failing to address our federal human rights issues that need to be addressed. And our federal lawmakers are also failing to step up to the plate here. Nonetheless, she was a great therapist, and I was sorry that I'm losing her but part of the reason, another reason it's so kind of okay, because she could only go so far because the SeaMar administration would not let her help me. She could tell her and the other therapists I had, I've said several others, were able to tell the truth to work comp judges, SSDI judges, criminal judges. Yet when I want them to tell the truth to state lawmakers and federal lawmakers like Rick Larson, they don't want to do that. They want to tell them about whole Washington and Medicare for all, but not the minimum federal standards. The doctors, American Physicians Health Care Association, have told us our injured workers need, and that the Congress has told us, and Senator Sanders, and Patty Murray herself has even told us we need. So it's really frustrating to me when my administration at SeaMar seems to side with whole Washington to sell Medicare for all, rather than step up and fight for one of their patients whose human rights are being violated, and all the other injured workers, or workers in general, because this harmed us all in the long run, because if you're hurt on the job and not taken care of, it's not good, it hurts us all. And so basically we have people purged to the streets to die. Others are not stepping up to help us. And in my SSDI case that I recently went through, we just experienced and witnessed how they will try to not help you and even harm you, even try to jail you, rather than give you the benefits you were entitled to from 3 years ago. And as they've harmed me for 3 years, nobody's addressing that issue. So I have a lot of issues going on, and I also have somebody else trying to press harassment. They're not harassment charges, but I guess a restraining order due to harassment, which was a local or not a local lawmaker or city lawmaker or whatever, who works for a state lawmaker, as an aide, a legislative aide, who I was crying out to both of them to get my issue heard, because the state lawmaker is from my neighborhood as well. So I wanted both of them to get my issue on the table. Instead, they seem to be wanting to play restraining orders on me, just like Jason Call wants to call me unhinged, rather than address the minimum federal standards for injured workers in America. And so it's frustrating when my own liberal Democrats and my mental health folks, which was SeaMar, seem to be tied in with my liberal Democrats as well, and whole Washington advocates like Georgia Davenport, who also told people that I'm dangerous and stay away, and I'm making threats at their candidates, which I was not and am not. What I am doing and had done, and you need to know this if you're going to be my new mental health therapist, is that I did call them bitches and whores and fat and ugly and everything else name under the sun I could call them, because they're not listening to me when me and this other therapist are presenting the videos that are coherent and well put together and tell the truth about harm to me as a human and others, and the solutions to get that stuff addressed, yet nobody is listening to those, or if they are, they're not helping us to address it. And not only are they not doing that, they're trying to silence me. So it's really frustrating to me as a human being at this time in this community. And it's Christmas time, and they're firing me and having their other Democratic operatives basically press charges on me, telling me that they fear for their lives from me, yet they're trying to deny me mental health services. There's something not right about that. And I'll have to back this guy back off here. The camera kind of messes up sometimes on me there, but anyways. He's back now. It's kind of one of those funny cameras that follows you around. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at here is I'm seeking mental health services, and I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to get a truth told, what the other therapists had me doing, and we were doing really good at it. As far as I was concerned, I'm surprised that everybody's having to split us apart now. It's been 2 years. No, I'm okay with it. I mean, because she could only go so far because admin wouldn't let her go any further to help me get my truth told to the lawmakers when it's Claudia Legre, their legislative liaison, who should be putting forth this harm to humans and reporting this abuse to patients in our state and the solutions that is needing to be on the table to get this stuff addressed. So anyways, I'm hoping my new therapist, whoever that may be out there, and I'm on Medicare, and it's Aetna Healthcare, and I'm here in Everett, Washington. So if you are willing to step up to plate and help another human being get their voice heard and the harm done to them and their family, and my father-in-law was worked to death, we'll talk about this more if you choose to be one of my therapists or healthcare providers. Mental health care providers. And we'll also talk about how SeaMar said, pretty much the doctor, Love, who was also very good, I had no problem with him either. Me and the doctor and the therapist all were getting along great. The problem was SeaMar management doesn't want to get on us about the need of minimum federal standards for our injured workers. I don't know why this camera don't work the way it's supposed to. It's frustrating. But we're not going to get angry. And that's something we'll have to work on, is my anger management. And I agree with that, and that's what I have been working on, and that's why we were trying to do these videos nicely. But that's just the way it's worked out. I don't know why. I need a better cameraman, I guess. There we go. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm reaching out as a good human being, as my mental health therapist and team that's had me for 6 years is firing me right around Christmas time, as they're having their other Democratic operatives in town try to jail me or have judges deem me heinous, or they fear me. And it's ludicrous from a man who never leaves his home. And so it's just, I don't know where to go with that. And yeah, so I need to speak to mental health therapists about it, and I'm going to continue to seek therapy and to use that therapy and song and whatever civil means to get my voice heard. And I'm hoping that the next therapist will be able to take it one step further, because it's nice that we can, my other one could say, yes, kumbaya, brother, and sing, 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 get your voice heard. But when the management was tied in with whole Washington and our revolution people that were telling me to be silent because they fear that my truth somehow runs the whole Washington, which is ludicrous. You could still fight for both. You could still be honest about it, and to not be honest about a war on workers and our minimum federal human rights issue at this point in time in history is egregious. And to silence the one man in our community speaking out for it, that is frustrating to me. And so yes, I would like to seek mental health therapy. So I will be sharing this video with the Snohomish County government and the mental health people in our community, and the community mental health ombuds lady who's supposed to be hooking me up, who I've reported SeaMar to for failing me. Yet she can only hand me a list to say, here, let's advocate for you by having you shop for another therapist by yourself. Well, here I am. I'm shopping for another mental health therapist who can take Aetna Healthcare, Medicare, to treat apparently Hannibal Lecter here in Everett, Washington, so that members in his community don't fear him. And let's forget, this is a man with no teeth yet. Yeah, we had to have those recently taken out, and Senator Sanders was another, hasn't got those teeth. He wrote me a letter saying we needed some minimum federal standards for injured workers that he went silent on in 2015, him and Patty Murray. And at this point, as a human being, as I've cried out to you in this community for over 5 years, you two senators, it's egregious that you won't step up and help me, help others, and my mental health, and get honest. And Sanders used injured Amazon worker, Shannon Allen, to tell her story to sell $15 an hour. She wants to use her story to sell anti-union rank and file committees, where I want the minimum federal standards that Sanders told us about that he went silent on. And so does American Physicians Health Care Association. And the United States Congressional Research Service in 2020 also did a report that told us we need this issue on the table. So anyways, we can talk about this more if you choose to be my therapist or mental health providers. But this is what I will be talking about because it's what I've talked about for 24/7 for the last 10 years since I got hurt on the job at the University of Washington Medical Center as a health care provider to people. And so it gets frustrating, and yes, I get angry when I was a good worker, a good nurse. And I'm telling you, people are being hurt and harmed by our health care, and it's used as a tool to rob us of our to rob us of our entitlements that we worked for. And these people that are doing it are not getting held to account who harm us through med tort and work comp law. It's harmful and it's egregious, and yes, I need a therapist to discuss this all with because can't get a lawyer to help, which is, if you could, that's the other thing I was going to say. It would be so awesome if there was such a beast out there that you happen to be a dual therapist and a lawyer at the same time, because I certainly could use one of those. Or a senator with some balls that could step up and not remain silent like Senator Sanders has for 5 years. Yeah. Anyways, this is me doing my my duty. And that's another thing about this person putting charges on me here who is a Democrat candidate that I was calling out on her candidate page, and she said, you come to your personal page has all your candidate stuff on there too. And I didn't, how am I supposed to know which one is which when you're running for office? And I called you at your place of work. Yes, your place of work is my state legislator's office from my local legislator. That is egregious that I'm even having to go through this mental stuff at this point in time, but I'm trying to stay calm and seek mental health therapy. And I'm going to stay in my home because I fear them more than they fear me, and I will not be showing up to address these bogus frickin' charges. And she can have her little restraining order, and they can say, oh, he's so mean and so horrible, when he's the one man in the community trying to speak truth. And if this Democrat, of which I am for 30 years, 54 years now, I'm 54 years old, whatever. Along my lifetime, I've been a Democrat, and this local Bernie-crat lady is trying to press these charges on her. It's egregious at this point. When I'm the one person trying to get a truth told. The same truth Senator Sanders told us about in 2015. So, and that's, yeah. I mean, I'm reaching that's what I was going to get at. I'm doing my duty as a citizen or a resident of the state, either way you look at it, to call out my local lawmakers, state lawmakers, and federal lawmakers on my issue that's harming me and others in my community. I do believe from Schoolhouse Rock, that's what I was told to do, is take my issue to my lawmakers. And that's what my therapist from SeaMar helped me do, is put some good videos together that I've been sharing with these lawmakers that now want to silence me, as I've shared those coherent videos with folks. So yes, it would be nice to have some mental health care that would be on my side the way this lady was, but they can take it one step further and possibly hook me up to lawyers or congressmen and senators who are willing to get honest about something that's harming and purging some of us to the streets to die. And that's work comp is not just a work comp issue, it's also SSDI, which I've shown people clearly. But when you can call out the way I am in this community through YouTube, Facebook, and song and dance, my therapist is helping me do, That's the part that's frustrating. And now the Democratic apparatus of that same SeaMar and my state and my Snohomish County government are all trying to conspire to say he's harming people instead of helping me get the harm that's purging people into homelessness. And these same people will share these signs and go say they're doing stuff for homelessness, and we're trying to get this addressed. But when I say, well, we can trace 25% of the opioid-related deaths back to state work comp systems failing us, nobody wants to talk about that. No, this is egregious, and this is why America's failing its injured workers. This is why Washington State is one of 33 states failing its injured workers, and so that's what we'll be talking about in therapy, and that's what I've been talking about in therapy for the last, 6 years. And even when they've been sent to jail, when they come and take me from my home to take me to jail, I never do leave my home to go anywhere. I don't even have a car, let's reiterate that, or a driver's license. And I'm a 3-time felon, so I can't own weapons. Like I say, my only weapon I have is my mouth, and it has no teeth in it. I'm looking for a therapist. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for compassion. And I'm looking for some dignity as a former caregiver and healthcare aide and work comp whistleblower. If you can be that therapist, you can step up to the plate and take the heat and go through the fire with me so we can get to the other side here and help humans in our community. I need your help, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.